Coming up on News Live at 6, the Chancellor's search party looks for community input, what students and locals say they want in the next leader.
Hendricks Chapel hosts the beginning of Rosh Hashanah's evening services tonight.
And how Tip Hill is racing cars for a cause in their annual derby. News Live at 6 starts right now.
This is CitrusTV News Live at 6, your campus news leader.
As Syracuse University seeks out their next chancellor, the search committee is hosting public engagement events to get community input. Thanks for joining us this Monday. I'm Kaitlin Campbell.
And I'm Riley Faye. Our Roman Verna tells us what students, locals, and alumni are looking for.
After over 10 years as chancellor, Kent Gifford is stepping down. Gifford's administration saw a little bit of everything, from renovations to the Dome and Promenade to the unprecedented COVID-19 lockdowns. Dick Calagiovanni is an alum and former adjunct professor. He says he was a fan of Gifford's tenure, but would like to see a leader who combines the university more into the city.
I see some dynamic, talented undergraduates and graduate people on the university, in the university community. And what's unfortunate is I don't think the community knows about that. Unfortunately, just like a lot of other instances and situations, you only hear about the bad things.
But many of today's students have their minds on other issues. Na Oyaquist, a freshman, says she wants someone who will stand up to federal pressure.
I'm looking for somebody who doesn't back down, probably, because a lot of things are happening to current college campuses and a lot of their funding's being cut, and I feel like I want a chancellor who is willing to stand up to the administration and protect the students over the government, because again, the current Trump administration is temporary, but this school is basically forever. So
another issue on the minds of students, the cost of attendance. When Gifford took his position in 2014, tuition was $40,000. Now, that number is $66,000, an over 65% increase. In Syracuse, Roman Verna, CitrusTV News.
Thanks, Roman. Those community engagement sessions will continue through the end of the month. Those looking to attend can find out more information on the university's website. And sundown tonight marks the start of the Jewish holiday Rosh Hashanah.
The Hillel Student Union hosts an evening service tonight at SU's Hendricks Chapel. Our reporter Colleen Nakuda is live at the chapel. Colleen?
Thank you, Riley. Behind me today at Hendricks Chapel, Syracuse Hillel Student Union and Syracuse Hillel host the beginning of evening night services starting at 5:30 and ending at 6:30 today for Rosh Hashanah. The holy holiday runs from sundown tonight until Wednesday, and Chabad Rabbi Mendy Rappaport shares more about why the Jewish community comes together to celebrate.
Hashanah is the Jewish New Year, and in the Jewish tradition we see it as the New Year for the world. Perhaps because of all the craziness in the world, when we turn inwards and support each other, we can then shine outwards.
Syracuse Hillel has planned a series of activities to allow students to come together. They start with a series of nightly services that begin tonight. They have lunch and day services, and they invite all students to come and attend, gather, and enjoy. And that is a super important thing for this community, as Syracuse has a large population and a great opportunity for Syracuse students to come together. If you want to look for more information, look to their Instagram to see more activities for the rest of the week. Back to you guys in studio.
Thanks, Colleen. SU announced today all students and staff will be granted access to Claude for Education by Anthropic AI. Claude is designed specifically for academic environments to look to improve the learning experience for users across campus. Syracuse becomes one of the first universities to offer campus-wide access to Claude, and access can be requested starting September 24th.
University Union hosted Juice Jam this past weekend. The annual concert was held on the Shaw Quadrangle and was free to SU and SUNY ESF students.
For SU freshmen, the concert was a great opportunity to get to know the Syracuse community.
Even if you don't know the artists are still great. You will find something you like, so.
Harvey's Garden hosted an end-of-summer folk music festival yesterday. The event gathered community to raise awareness for public media outlets. Our Kate Tannenbaum has the story.
Folk music filled the air at Harvey's Garden this past weekend as local bands, vendors, and artists were gathered for the end of summer folk festival. For one Syracuse grad turned local business owner, the event was a great way to bring people together.
I feel like can be a bridge, you know. I like the idea of music and vendors and creators coming together to sort of create community around that.
Aside from gathering local community around vendors and music, the Folk Festival is also a way to raise awareness for public media.
Public media outlets rely on funding from federal and state governments, donations, and corporate underwriting in order to broadcast to audiences completely free of charge. According to WAER Development Assistant Juliana Hernandez, the importance of public media cannot be overstated.
Public media is important because it's critical to providing independent news and information and connecting the community.
Events like this one allow public media outlets to connect with their audiences more personally and boost interest in their broadcasts.
We're here to bring together the community, really. It's kind of what our whole goal is here, is to bring together not only like community members to each other, but also to public media and to stay informed and be part of culture.
For Citrus TV News, I'm Kate Tannenbaum.
Thanks, Kate. And, you know, I have to say it looked like a great time, but also great weather. Unfortunately, I don't think that's the case based on what we saw from Colleen.
I know. I wish it could stay the same today, but it looks rough out there. Poor Colleen. At least she has an umbrella. But RK Elford is also live outside. Grace, what's it looking like?
Now guys, we're out here on the quad. We were right in between showers. We're looking at around 70 degrees. So definitely those muggy Syracuse conditions as we're transitioning into fall. Now looking into tonight, we're gonna again be at 70 degrees and again with those rain showers and humidity. So not really the most comfortable night to be outside, but you know, we always have those weird days here in Syracuse, and you know, I'll have more for you later on in the broadcast and if this rain will stay or if it will go throughout the week. Back to you guys in studio.
Thanks, Grace. Well, at least you have that umbrella to keep you dry out there, but we'll see you in studio in just a little bit. And a local Syracuse resident has been doing weekly garage sales in his front yard for over 2 years now, but he's looking for a new home for his store. Our reporter Brody Miller is here with his story.
You know what, maybe I could kind of keep doing this a little bit and kind of support my hat collection and also get some other cool stuff.
If you're walking along Madison Street on the weekends, there's a good chance you'll see James.
My main gig outside of this is I work with young people with special needs as a mentor.
And when he's not doing that, he's running a garage sale from his home. James and the same 2 other guys sit on the porch of 1203 Madison Street every single weekend.
Honestly, originally when we started, we didn't have much of a goal in mind.
But it quickly grew to become something that he loved.
Having like the frats and the sororities and just the local student body kind of showing up every weekend has also been very encouraging to keep getting new stuff and keep coming out here every weekend.
The Vintage Yard, owned by James, sells a wide variety of vintage apparel in James's front yard. However, he doesn't want to keep it that way.
If we try to get a spot in Marshall Square Mall, I would absolutely love it if Syracuse University would rethink having us in a permanent spot in Marshall Square Mall or any other places on like the campus area. It'd be a great addition to like the campus community.
From what started as a love for collecting vintage hats that turned into an entire garage sale business, the men of the Vintage Yard are hoping that they can expand what they already have. For Citrus TV News, I'm Brody Miller.
Thanks, Brody. The city of Syracuse and a Chicago-based investment group are agreeing to settle a lawsuit filed by the city and reopen an apartment building on James Street. More than 350 housing units will be ready to rent by May 2026 at the formerly named Skyline Apartments. The city filed a lawsuit against the property owner last spring, citing continuing neglect after the property was bought in a court-ordered sale in 2023.
To the latest in Oneida County, 4 former Marcy correctional officers are pleading guilty in the case of Robert Brooks. Nicholas Anzalone and Anthony Farina were initially charged with murder in connection to the fatal beating of Brooks last December that was all caught on camera. As part of their plea, the two men admitted to assaulting Brooks, which led to his death. They both pled guilty to first-degree manslaughter. Two other officers also pled guilty to second-degree manslaughter.
And Democratic state lawmakers are pushing for legislation that would maintain COVID vaccine guidance in spite of federal changes. The Vaccine Integrity Act would allow New York to follow its own public health advisory groups instead of just the federal one. This comes just weeks after Governor Kathy Hochul signed an executive order that lets pharmacists administer COVID vaccines to New Yorkers aged 3 and up without a doctor's prescription.
Governor Kathy Hochul is making strides to ensure affordable home ownership in cities like Syracuse with the launch of the Move In NY program. Hochul toured one of the 200 homes on your screen. They are 1,500 square feet with 3 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms. They took 6 months and roughly $250,000 to build. That is nearly half of the average time and cost in today's market. The program is sponsored by a $50 million funding initiative Hochul secured in this year's state budget. It's a part of a larger goal to create 100,000 affordable homes in her current term. With these recent additions, the plan is now 65% complete.
Coming up after the break, Jimmy Kimmel is coming back after a suspension.
Plus, President Donald Trump makes an announcement on autism research, what he said and more when we come back.
Dad?
Just 1 minute, okay?
Hey, Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
Do clouds take naps?
I couldn't tell you.
Can birds draw pictures?
I don't have an answer for that.
Dad, do stars visit their friends?
Look!
You're watching CitrusTV News Live at 6 with Kaitlin Campbell, Riley Fay, and Grace Elford. And now, your campus news leader continues.
Welcome back to News Live at 6. Less than a week after his show was paused indefinitely, ABC announced that Jimmy Kimmel Live will be back tomorrow night. In a statement, ABC said, quote, "We have spent the last days having thoughtful conversations with Jimmy, and after those conversations, we reached the decision to return the show on Tuesday."
Kimmel's show was suspended for his comments surrounding the assassination of Charlie Kirk. His suspension raised concerns over free speech as the FCC chairman celebrated the decision on social media.
Immigrant workers are left confused from the Trump administration's recent H-1B visa plan. Over the weekend, White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt announced the $100,000 fee for H-1B visas is not an annual fee, that it's, quote, a one-time fee that applies only to the petition, end quote.
This comes days after Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick said the petition fee would be applied annually. The White House clarified the H-1B fee will also not apply to existing visa holders re-entering the country.
The Supreme Court announced today they will consider expanding President Trump's power to shape independent agencies. This would overturn a 90-year ruling saying commissioners can only be removed for misconduct or neglect of duty.
In a 6-3 vote, the court also allowed Trump to fire Democratic Federal Trade Commission member Rebecca Slaughter. Justices are expected to hear arguments about overturning the case in December.
In a press conference just over an hour ago, Trump announced that the Food and Drug Administration will notify doctors the use of acetaminophen is associated with an increased risk of autism. Trump said pregnant women who take drugs such as Tylenol are increasing the risk of Tylenol in a baby.
Officials warn Tylenol should not be taken unless in the case of an extreme fever. A majority of scientific research still suggests no causal link between Tylenol and autism.
And after the break, I'll have your 5-day weather forecast. Stick with us.
From the Citrus TV Weather Center, this is SU's most accurate weather forecast.
Welcome back into News Live at 6. I'm here with your 5-day weather forecast. Looking ahead into the rest of our week, tomorrow we're going to be at 71 degrees with some rain, and unfortunately that rain will continue into Wednesday with some PM showers, but 76 degrees. So definitely that humidity we've been experiencing all day today and are going to experience for the next few days. Then on Thursday, the sun's going to break through a little bit, 72 and partly cloudy. Same with Friday, and your families might be arriving here for Parents' Weekend. And then on Saturday, we of course have the big game day at 70 degrees. So hopefully the weather clears up for us, not too much rain or too humid or too cloudy or anything, and we have a great day here in Syracuse for game day. And something interesting is that despite this fall weather that we've been having today as we're transitioning, we're still going to be seeing some warmer temperatures here in Syracuse, because for the past 5 years we have not hit a record low here in Syracuse. It's only been warmer temperatures, which it's just really interesting, and we're definitely still, even though we still experience those super cold winters, we're definitely still warming up here in Syracuse. I'll be back later with your weather when you wake up. I'm going to send it back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Grace. And Tipperary Hill crowned its Derby champion yesterday afternoon, but the finish line was just the beginning.
Yep, the real race is feeding families across Central New York in partnership with Syracuse University's Food Recovery Network. Our Ben Bassick took to the track to see how the Derby is steering support to families in need.
On your mark, get set, go.
Burnett Park came to life this weekend as St. Peter and Paul's hosted their annual Tip Hill Derby. Father Ambrose Inlow spent the week preparing every car for a larger cause on Syracuse's near west side.
Last year we started, this year we expand. So most of the proceeds go to help support our food recovery efforts. We recover the prepared foods and then we distribute them to neighborhoods in need, particularly near the near west side here. I had someone that wouldn't talk to me for a year and a half. relationships. So sometimes that's what it takes. It takes time, and food is a way to kind of open that door.
This year's judge, Ralph Simone, says change happens one meal at a time.
I think anytime you're helping somebody with something they have a need, it starts to build trust, it starts to build relationships. We need more and more grassroots efforts because we have to have a synergy between things happening at the local level and things happening at the state and the larger country level. And I think it's important for all of us, especially those that have been blessed with some resources, to serve others who are in need.
Tip Hill racer Timothy Cross discovered hope when a stranger in black robes showed up at his door with dinner.
I was living on Richmond and Father and them came through giving food out. A year and a half later, being a part of the church, I helped make the food and bring it out. Became a family. It's awesome. It's amazing. It's a godsend that, you know, great hope.
You can have a soapbox car derby, the kids can have fun, and at the same time, you can hug someone that has just lost a loved one. It's not all suffering, it's not all joy, it's a union of the two, and this is what makes us truly human.
St. Peter and Paul's Church continues their food recovery mission every Friday, and if you missed the Derby this year, don't worry, because they'll be back next year.
Ben Bassett, CitrusTV News.
Ben, what a great story. I think Syracuse Athletics could take a page out of that book and actually doing some winning, but no spoilers, of course. But I've got some good news, I've got some bad news, and I've got some worse news coming up in sports.
Dad, they took over my bedroom. Come on, come on. Okay, Dad. 1, 2, 3. You saved me. Dad?
Are you okay?
I'm fine, dear.
Your hero needs you now, and AARP is here to help. Find the care guides you need at aarp.org/caregiving.
Women are bad with money.
It's what the world's been saying for centuries. But now, we've got something to say.
Save it. Save the old-fashioned advice, the empty excuses. It's all worthless, unlike us.
To our fellow females, it is time to save ourselves by saving our money.
Contributing to our futures, investing in our independence.
Until we're no longer 80%
more likely than men to live in poverty in retirement.
So again, we say to that,
Save it. The falsehoods, the feelings of fault. Then the funds.
learn how to save for your retirement at wesaysaveit.org.
And now, your CitrusTV Sports Report.
Syracuse starting quarterback Steve Angeli is out for the season. Welcome into sports. I'm Max Gifford. After suffering a non-contact injury in the Orange's Saturday contest against Clemson, an MRI revealed that Angeli tore his Achilles, resulting in him needing surgery today and ultimately sidelining him for the rest of the season. Truly a huge blow for this Syracuse football team, and nobody is more devastated than the man stepping into Steve's role, Ricky Collins Jr.
Seeing a brother, not just a teammate to me. I mean, we build bonds on this team, and that's a brother to me now. So seeing that, it sucked. I mean, I was hurt for him, but I had to snap out of it and realize that I got to go in and finish the game for him.
Ultimately, really tough. Syracuse loses its starting quarterback, and just recently today, the ACC fined the Orange $25,000 for faking an injury in that Clemson game. But I feel like we're beating around the bush a little too much here because we've done a lot of telling, so it's time to do some showing of how this game broke down in Death Valley. I mean, Syracuse had never won in Death Valley ever in their series history. And you can see Dabo Sweeney, the head coach for Clemson, sprinting down the hill, but it was actually Syracuse who sprinted out to the fast start in this one. Just 4 minutes in, Steve Angeli links up with a jumping Justice Ross Simmons. What are you talking about, Ashton Hampton? That ball was totally in bounds. Syracuse up 7-0 early, but Kate Klubnik on the Clemson side had 36 passing touchdowns a season ago, and he adds another one to his arsenal right here, dropping it in the bucket for Bryant Wesco Jr., but Syracuse still had the lead, aimed to keep its foot on the gas, and they link up with Darrell Gill Jr., a little soft-flayed slip and slide. But toward the end of the first half, Kate Klubnik still had plenty of time in the pocket to make something happen, and he's in rhythm with Adam Randall pouring on some points before halftime. But then there was rain and there was lightning. An hour and a half went by, and there was no game played. We saw Steve Angeli out, Ricky Collins in. He links up with Justice Ross Simmons for his second score of the game, and SU gets a signature win on the road, 34-21. But back on the hill, Syracuse field hockey had two ranked matchups of its own this weekend. On Friday, the Orange took on Wake Forest and ultimately fell to the number 20 Demon Deacons after allowing two unanswered goals in the second half. And then on Sunday, the Orange took on number 3 Virginia and also allowed two unanswered goals in the second half. One of those an overtime loss, one of those a last-second penalty stroke. So a couple setbacks on the pitch for Lynn Farquhar's lineup. But on another pitch, Syracuse men's soccer, well, they also lost. The Orange were defeated by Duke 2-0 over at Koskinen Stadium. Orange on a 4-game winless streak. I mean, Coach Mack has been sitting on 141 wins for so long now, just needing one more win to become Syracuse's all-time winningest head coach. But the women's squad was also in action. But did they fare any better? No, they didn't. I mean, what do you expect? It's the number 1 team in the nation, for Pete's sake. Orange ultimately fall 3-0. The only silver lining in this one, Shea Vanderbosch moving into second all-time in career saves in a Syracuse uniform. So unfortunately, lots of losses on the Syracuse side, but that's going to wrap it up for sports.
Thanks, Max. When we come back, one last look at your wake-up weather.
Stay with us.
If you're buzzed and doing this, to make yourself feel okay to drive,
ZWX.
You're not okay to drive.
YGKLVW. Regular you.
I don't think that many kids in my son's school even do it.
He makes fun of his friend who vapes.
He would never try it.
She's into soccer.
She's on the honor roll.
She's just not the type.
No way.
No way.
No way.
No way, my kid would never vape.
Get your head out of the cloud. Today, nearly 8,000 kids will start vaping. Maybe even yours. Learn about the dangers at talkaboutvaping.org.
You've messed up your son's haircut.
Mom?
Do you A, try to fix it?
Like it never happened.
B, work with what you got? Or C, show solidarity?
Thank you, babe.
As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
When you wake up tomorrow morning, you're going to be in the 60s. At 6 a.m., you're going to be around 65, and then by 12, you're going to warm up to 69. But unfortunately, you're going to be seeing some rain all morning tomorrow. So unfortunate, but not a surprise for Syracuse, New York.
Well, Grace, I wish there was better weather because it's your birthday, and we wanted to wish you a little happy birthday from us here. How are you planning on spending the rest of your evening?
I think I'm going to be going out to dinner with my roommate and my 2 friends, including our Sophia DeSasso from Citrus.
Oh, that's great. And you're turning 20 this year. That's such a fun year. You're no longer a teenager. How do you feel?
I don't like it. I don't like it. I feel like I'm growing up too fast.
Yeah,
I'm old.
Vintage.
Yeah, exactly.
That's how I feel.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
Well, that's Citrus TV News live at 6 for this Monday.
Don't forget you can follow us on X and Instagram at CitrusTV News. Now for the entire Citrus TV News team, I'm Riley Faye.
And I'm Kaitlin Campbell. Have a great night, Syracuse.